So the Chinese birth rate is in decline, is tumbling. And who are they blaming? Let's look at this. They are blaming the West. Okay, let's get into this article. Amid China's looming population crisis, is Western defamily culture creating more single childless Chinese? There you have it. The West, not China's policies, not their traditions. It's the West. China recorded its first population decline in 6 decades last year, and its birth rate hit a record low. Some demographers and officials have called for a return to traditional Chinese family values. Shanghai interpreter, exhibition agent, and online influencer Judy Shin is 40, single and childless. She is also happy with her life, especially as more people around her are making similar choices. I'm not a celibate, but I'm very likely to remain single all my life because marriage is not among my top 3 priorities. There are just so many other things I want to pursue. To Chinese officials and demographers, the growing number of single adults like Chen is an alarming factor contributing to the falling birth rate and aging population in the world's second largest economy. Some blame the influence of Western culture, including tolerance of diverse lifestyles and the emphasis on individualism, and have called for a return to traditional Chinese family values, starting a family, nurturing children, and supporting the elderly to tackle the looming demographic crisis. Somebody named Jing Yi said traditional values about family have encountered tremendous challenges, but the thousand-year deep roots of respecting the elderly and caring for the young are still there. Professor Zheng Yi, a population expert at Peking University's National School of Development, said the rising number of adults living alone was very worrying. He urged people to stop promoting such lifestyles in the media because it would lead to a large number of empty nest elderly and an accelerating decline in the working age population. Okay, let me speak to this without editorializing. Okay, Yi also went on to say, we should greatly promote the traditional virtues of the Chinese nation and the social respect for producing offspring, encourage couples to share child raising responsibilities, and eliminate bad customs such as high bridal prices. He also wrote, while also warning about the influence of defamily culture from the West. In the late 20th century, with the rise of individualism, feminism, and materialism, the second demographic transition featuring a disconnection between marriage, family, and procreation started taking place in Europe. And it had an extensive impact on the younger generation in China. There will have to be a part 2 because this is kind of long. This is part 2 on speaking of the birth rate decline being blamed on the Western family culture. Okay, so here we go. It came as a great blow to our traditional family culture, leading to a growing number of untraditional families, such as those being single in old age, common law partners, and dual income no kid couples. China recorded its first population decline in 6 decades last year. Encouraging couples to have more children has been high on Beijing's agenda. India, with an estimated population of 1.42 billion, became the world's most populous nation last month, according to the United Nations. China's population last year was 1.41 billion. Chinese policymakers started allowing families to have up to 3 children from 2021. Local governments introduced a range of preferential policies for those choosing to have more than 2. But the national birth rate has fallen every year since 2016, hitting a record low of 6.77 births for every 1,000 people last year. Yu Hai, a professor from Fudan University School of Social Development and Public Policy, said it was a global and irreversible trend for more people to say no to marriage and children. It is not something that can be changed by cultivating a new culture or refusing Western values. You may be able to make people not have babies, but it's hard to force them the other way around. You said, referring to China's notorious one-child policy enforced between 1980 and 2015, which resulted in numerous abortions. They are in the find out stage of the policies that they put in place. This is on them, but they are blaming the West. This is on their policies. Besides, it's unfair to say Westerners do not value families. As far as I can see, family is of similarly high importance whether in the East or the West. He said of a range of social issues lay behind the reluctance to marry and have children and he saw no signs of immediate improvement. Marriageable young adults in China have long been worried about high child rearing costs, including the pressure to provide children with extracurricular tuition. The cost of bringing up a child in China in 2019 was nearly 7 times the country's per capita GDP that year, far more than the United States, according to a report issued last year by the Beijing-based Yawu Population Research Institute. Growing caution about starting a family is not just an issue in major cities like Shanghai. They are going through the exact same thing and the reasons for other countries with birth rate declines. But instead of tackling the issues, instead of listening to why people are opting out, they are shifting the blame. And this is why I'm highlighting this, because it is typical to not listen to the people impacted and just shift the blame. But y'all jump in the comments, tell me what you think, like, comment,